Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jordan.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Connor Bunn.
There he is. All right, we're going to have to warm up to this, but if you guys haven't seen the last episode, Connor Bunn has joined us as the fourth co-host on the Stock Car Spectacle. Connor, as always, we love you, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it. I'm happy to be a part of this.
Of
Yeah,
course.
just a reminder, don't start no shit, won't be no shit, C-Bun.
That's a weekly episode reminder.
But guys, we are going to be previewing Martinsville that's coming up this weekend. Trucks are off, which is very, very unfortunate. They put on one hell of a show last year. But we do have Xfinity and the Cup Series all running. So, start off with the Dead On Tools 250 on Saturday. It's a 158-mile race. Stages 1 and 2 are 60 laps each, and the final is 130 for a total of 250 laps. Noah Gragson won here last year in the fall, and Brandon Jones won in the spring. Some notables: Sammy Smith's running the 18 for JGR. Jesse Iwuji's back in the 34.
Kyle Weatherman.
I think that's stupid. You got to
just
put Kyle
announced-
Weatherman in
No,
there.
they announced it today.
Oh,
Kyle
did they?
Weatherman is driving that car, yeah.
Well, that's a smart move there. You, yeah. No kidding. I mean, dude, it's like day and night when Kyle Weatherman gets in
Dude,
that
they're
car.
a top.
He
They're a
runs
top 15 program with
Yeah.
Kyle Weatherman's in that car, and then they're Natalie Decker when Jesse Iwuji steps in.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah, scratch that for Jesse Iwuji. But Raja Caruth, he'll be in the 44 for Alpha Prime. And Nick Sanchez, he'll be in the 48 for Big Machine Racing. So, guys, who is your pick to win at Martinsville in the Xfinity Series? Connor, we'll start off with you, buddy.
I'm going to be a little bit of a homer with this one, but I've got my good reasons. So Ty Gibbs is my pick to win this weekend. Been kind of a little bit of a miserable last couple of months for Ty in the Xfinity. Obviously, he's ran well. He's probably been the second best car, but it just seems like he's missing that little edge to get to victory lane. Obviously, he's had a few opportunities taken from him. The Roval, he dominated that whole race, and AJ kind of used him up there on the second to last restart, whatever it was. And then in the three Xfinity races Ty has ran so far, his first one there, he finished fourth, led a lot of laps, just kind of used up his tires at the end, got passed by Josh Berry. Last fall, he obviously was in contention again, got spun by the 9 in turn 3, and then this past spring absolutely dominated the race. Just kind of lost it there at the end to his teammate Brandon Jones, and everything happened on pit road with Sam Mayer. But
Oh, yeah.
I think Ty, this is kind of like a rebound week for him to solidify his name into that Final Four. I don't think he wants to point his way in. I think that team's too good to not just win their way in. I think Gregson's kind of just going to lay off this week, kind of focus on their stuff for next week. So I'm going with Ty Gibbs to win the Xfinity race on Saturday.
All right. Not bad. Mr. Mike, who you got for Saturday?
Just can't believe this dude coming up on our show. First full time. He gonna be a homer like that. Well, anyway, I'm picking Justin Allgaier. So no, but I'm gonna go with my boy Gator. I think he's been fast here. I think the veteran poise in a racetrack like this with what's on the line is gonna factor in heavily, and I think he's gonna do what he's got to do to make the championship four.
All right. Not a bad pick there. Mr. Nico, who you got winning?
Well, I'm
the
not going to be a
Xfinity race?
homer this week because Trevor Bain's not racing and Daniel Hemrick just sucks this year. So I'm gonna go with his teammate though, AJ Allmendinger in the 16 car. So you think AJ, you think road courses, but actually in the Cup Series, when they ran Martinsville, AJ was always one of those guys to look out for. He was just like sneaky good at this kind of track, and he's got a best finish of third here. He finished third here in the spring. It's been you think of your guys, like your Xfinity big three. It's Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, and you have to throw AJ Allmendinger in there. I think he's just consistent and he wins races, and I think that he's gonna punch his ticket. I think he's in right now, but like Connor said, you don't really want to with a car that he has, you don't want to point your way in there. You're better than you expect to go out and win. So I think AJ Allmendinger is going to punch his ticket back into the championship 4, and he's going to win this one.
All right, not a bad pick. I got to go with the driver in the 8 car, Josh Berry. He won a few weeks ago at Las Vegas, securing his spot into the Final 4. He's been looking fast as hell, and we know Josh Berry on short tracks.
This is his bread and butter.
Yep, that is his bread and butter right there. Got his first career win at Martinsville Speedway as well, so I think he's just going to do his thing, and he's just going to outrun everybody and get that win at Martinsville again. Get himself another grandfather clock. Josh Berry, he is going to be that guy, especially going next year. If you guys running out, I say Josh Berry, he's going to be the class of the field next year. Just watch out.
I agree.
All right, guys, now let's get into the Cup race. We got the Xfinity 500. Actually, before we start this, who is your Final 4 for the Xfinity Series right now? Who do you think is going to be getting their way in? So we know Josh Berry's in, Noah Gregson's in. Who are your other 2 drivers to race for a championship?
Can you give us a reminder of the points real fast?
Yes, I can. So
I unfortunately can't have that up at the time.
Noah Gregson, Josh Berry, they're locked in. And then you got Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger. They are above the cut line. And then Justin Allgaier, he's -5. Austin Hill is -7. Sam Mayer is -28. And then Brandon Jones, -38. So who are the other 2 drivers that are going to be getting themselves a chance to run for a championship?
Well, I think your Final 4 is set based off of that list. I think it's going to be Berry, Gregson, Gibbs, and Allmendinger. The one guy I could see playing spoiler to that is Mike's pick, Justin Allgaier. He runs well here. But I just don't see Austin Hill kind of being that short track guy. I don't think he's going to have the speed to go up and win this race and get it done. He doesn't have to win. Somebody could have a problem. But and then like Sam Mayer, same thing. Brandon Jones, he won this race back in the spring, but it's always so hit or miss.
We'll see.
So I have to say that the Final 4 is what it is right now with those guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I will. Go ahead, Connor.
I tend to agree. Like, I think our Final 4 is set, but it is Martinsville, and the guys who are below the line are not slouches either. I mean, obviously Brandon Jones won this race in the spring. Sam Mayer had a shot of it as well, and then you can never count out Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity Series. So I think we're in for a hell of a race on Saturday. Remind me how many points above the 16 and the 54 are?
Ty Gibbs is +30 and AJ is +5. So AJ,
Okay, so
a little
yeah,
scary
so I
right
think-
there.
So I think, on points, I think it would really have to take something drastic to the 54 to him to not make it. I think AJ, for the first couple stages of the race, points races, I think he focuses on getting his max points, and then the final stage, he goes out there and races. Just depending on how the race goes. I think the number one priority is just going to be to get their points. I think they're fast enough to run up in the top 3, 4, 5. And then the final stage, they'll go for the win. But, those guys below the cutoff line, you can never count out either. So as much as I want to say our Final 4 is locked, I can't count out any of those 4 drivers below the line right now.
All right.
All right. Well,
So yeah, I do think it's going to stand how it is, but continue.
all right. Well, the only little change I'm making to my Final 4, I agree with you guys. I think the front 3 are pretty much locked in. I think Tyrone Gibbs slots into that 3rd spot with, pretty much ease to the first stage or 2 of the race on Saturday. And I do think Justin Allgaier comes up and gets that last spot. Again, I think this is a good track for him. If he's got to go out and get points and point his way in, I think that's something that he can do here. If he's got to win to get in, I think he'll be up there at the end to try to be winning this race too. I think both those strategies play well for him. I think he's a smart, heady enough racer where he's not going to put himself in stupid positions and stay out of the nonsense. So, anything goes his way, he just drives his race. I think he's got the best chance of playing spoiler for that last spot. So I'm going to take him over AJ on the last championship spot.
Yeah, Mike, I totally agree with you. That's how my Final 4 is going to be. AJ, he's had a little rough go of things in this round of 8. He's only +5. We know Junior Motorsports, they are really, really good here at Martinsville so far. So I think Justin Allgaier is going to possibly get himself a grandfather clock or even just point his way in because right now it is really, really close. And Nick, like you said, Austin Hill, he's not a short track driver. I don't think there's any chance that he'll be getting his way in unless there's some kind of crazy catastrophe.
Well, that's just the
that
thing
happens.
about Martinsville. He's only, 7 points
he's
out?
-7.
All it takes is AJ Allmendinger has flat spots a tire and has to come back down. Or just any little thing like that out of the 54 or the 16. I think Ty's got a little bit of a cushion, but it's Martinsville. Like this is the track for the Xfinity Series that you want. This is the race right here. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. So, gonna be a good one. And let's move on to the Cup Series race. We got the Xfinity 500 263-mile race. Stages 1 and 2 are 130 laps each, and the final is 240 for a total of 500 laps. Last year's winner was Alex Bowman, making the move on old James Dennis Hamlin. And William Byron won here in the spring. Most team wins here is Hendrick Motorsports with 18 wins, and most manufacturer wins is Chevrolet with 32. So, guys, if you want to pick a winner, I'd say go for someone in the Chevy camp. But, Mike, who you got to go with, buddy?
Chevy camp, and I'm going to go with a very unconventional pick here. I'm going to go with the 22 of Joey Logano. A lot of people would buy into the wisdom that, he's already won his way in to the championship 4. So they may not exactly be bringing their best stuff. They're going to be focused on Phoenix, but I don't think Joey Logano is capable of that. I think he's got to be competing at the top level week in and week out. So that being said, we saw him this past weekend. He was in contention a lot of the race, running inside the top 10. So I think that's what you're going to see out of him here too. This is a track he's very good at. This is a track I think, he'll be up at front and he'll be having a chance to win at the end. And I think you'd much rather go into the championship race with a lot of momentum, kind of really putting it to your other 3 competitors for that championship. And I think that's what's going to happen.
All right. Nick?
Yeah, I'm also not going into the Chevy camp. I'm going with the 19 car Martin Truex Jr. We talked about it in our Homestead review. It's just it doesn't look like he's been having a lot of fun this year. It's like they've had the speed to go out and win these races. They just have not put it together. But this has been a very good track for Martin Truex Jr. He's got 3 wins here at Martinsville. And I don't think he's going to go winless this season. He's just too good to go winless this season. So I think he's going to play spoiler. He's going to go out. He's going to get it done. This is just a really good track for him, and he can maybe end 2022 on a bit of a high note from the disappointing one it's been for sure.
Yeah. All right, Connor.
My pick this weekend is going to be Denny Hamlin. In the spring race,
redemption.
In the spring race here, it was arguably the worst race the 11 has ever driven here at Martinsville. They were just way off and awful. I don't think they really expected the weekend to go how it went coming into it. I don't see that happening again with as good of a team as Chris Gabehart has assembled with Denny Hamlin as the driver. I think Denny Hamlin comes up clutch this weekend and wins and solidifies himself into the Final 4.
You won't have to worry about the 48. Alex Bowman's sitting at home. We won't have a repeat of last year, and then if it's Noah Gragson getting up there to do that to me, then we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight on the show next week.
All right, guys. So you know what? I was gonna go with William Byron, but I think I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with someone who's looked really fast past few weeks, has not had a good year at all. And we've seen the theme of the season with non-playoff drivers winning these races. I'm going with the number 6 of Brad Keselowski.
Wow.
He's going to get that first win as a driver owner in that 6 car. Guys, the speed has been there the past few weeks. He was running top 5 basically throughout the whole race at Homestead. His time is coming. Chris Buescher won at Bristol. I'd say RFK might be that short track team, and Brad's going to get that first win with the 6 car and going to shut all the haters up. It's Brad's time.
Talk about a long shot pick, man. Holy crap. And it's crazy that it's 2022 and we're talking about Brad Keselowski being a long shot pick. It's just the year it's gone from the 6. He has not been good at all this year. That would be impressive, but as you know, I don't want to see anybody winning the 6. So that's just me. But that would be impressive. I will say I'm still a little bit worried about this race and how it's going to play out. I think we saw an awful race here in the spring, and nobody really expected that with how good that the next gen car was going up until that point. That was really the first like sour soft spot of this next gen car. It ruined short tracks. It made our intermediates better, but it's kind of really damaged the short track package, and that's what we hate to see as NASCAR fans, because we all love short track racing. And what we saw here in the spring, and why I'm still worried, is I don't think they've done enough to the car to really change it. And the conditions, they're not going to be identical to what they were in the spring under the lights, but it's still going to be pretty cool outside. So the weather's going to have effect in that. So I don't know what we're going to see. I hope to be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have another very meh short track race. And that would really suck if it's a cutoff race to go to the championship for.
Yeah, building off what you said, Nick, I think it's kind of going to be a carbon copy. Just listening to what the drivers have said from the test here earlier this summer.
Nothing changed.
Nothing really changed. Nothing came up that sparked them that it was going to change. I mean, I do think you're going to see some guys, using up each other more than they did in the spring, obviously. And I think this week's practice and qualifying session is going to be the most important practice and qualifying session of the entire season. I think if you see some guys who are obviously still in the fight, if they don't come out and unload a good card and qualify, I think you're going to see some wonky strategies, like almost road course like strategies, where guys have to stay out and grab their points and do what they can to get their points, or even put themselves in a contention to run up front, just because in the spring we just saw the inability to pass and get around guys. So you're either going to see some beating and begging, which I think is, rest assured going to happen. But I think strategy is going to be a big part of it as well, especially for the guys who are below the cut line, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, and guys like that who, are at this point have to go out there and win. I think they're just kind of put in the box. If they don't qualify well, then they're really going to have to pull some rabbits out of the hat when it comes to strategy.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for Chase Briscoe. It seems like these tracks were we shifted at Martinsville back here in the spring, and Chase Briscoe at these tracks where we've had to shift at, he's shown speed, so he could truly be a dark horse. I mean, he won at Phoenix. We were shifting at Phoenix. He was fast at Gateway until he had the problem. So he's one to keep an eye on. But I really do hope we see a better show than we saw here in the spring. I just don't see it with the very limited things that they've done to make the car better on the short track.
And again, it's been this kind of thing that I've been thinking about all year. Like, this is the first year with this next-gen car. You're going to have trial and error. You're going to have problems with certain tracks, and they'll get it figured out. It's not going to be like this forever, and obviously the safety issues, that's the number one thing, and you know that they're on top of that right now. But, yeah, next-gen car, going to have some trial and error here.
Yeah, I have confidence that they'll figure it out next year. In the offseason, they got some work to do. I'm not really concerned about it. Regardless, I'm going to enjoy the race. I think just being the nature of what kind of race it is and what it's going to mean to the 8 guys still and really 7 guys still really fighting for a spot there. I think that we're going to see slightly of a better race than we will. I just think, in races like this where stakes are high, you're going to see something that you wouldn't expect to see. And that's kind of what I expect from Martinsville on Sunday.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that too. I think one of the things you see, with racetracks that get 2 dates, especially when one's in the playoffs, the non-playoff race is usually a little more tamer. And then that playoff race, obviously intensity just, amps up through the roof. I think that's what you're going to see again here. I do agree. I have some worries as far as the racing, but I think the intensity will do more than enough to kind of compensate for that. We'll we will see a pretty entertaining race, I think, this weekend.
Well, guys, that will about wrap it up for us. Again, Connor Bunn, thank you for joining us as being the fourth co-host. Guys, you can follow him on Twitter. We're going to have the link in the description. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And you can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram. So that will do it for us. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Connor Bunn.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy Martinsville. Hope it's a good one.